Hi, I'm Marge Easley with the League of Women Voters of Oregon. The League is a grassroots nonpartisan organization that has provided voters with unbiased election information since its founding in 1920. We've invited state and local candidates to engage in one-on-one conversations about important issues. Welcome to our Video Voters Guide, and welcome to Gary Coe, candidate for State Senate, District 14. Hi, Gary.
Thank you for the invitation.
You're very welcome. Tell us what your qualifications are for the State Senate and why you decided to run.
I've been a businessman for 45 years, and I have testified at every session since 1981 on some business issue. So I feel like I know my way around the Capitol. I reached a point of frustration, on one hand fascinated with the process,
right.
On the other hand frustrated with the process. And I said, somebody's got to do something. One day I looked in the mirror and said, oh my gosh, I think it's me. So here I am. I feel like I know my way around the Capitol enough. I'm ready to go to work.
Great. Okay. I wish that we had more people like that are ready to serve. Many agree that Oregon's tax structure produces significant ups and downs in our state income. It's kind of a roller coaster ride sometimes. So as a legislator, what specifically will you propose to stabilize this stream of revenue?
There's been a lot said about a rainy day fund, and of course we do have one that is at least started. But one of the problems is the legislature has spent every dollar that comes in up until very recently when they at least started a rainy day fund. The state budget has doubled within the last 15 years. So if we can have spending discipline and not promote new programs and instead set some of that money aside in that rainy day fund, that takes some of the bumps and valleys out of the economy. We know we're going to have recessions, 81, 91, 2001, and of course we didn't expect this one to be as harsh and last as long, but from late 2008 to current, been a pretty sluggish economy, and the projections of what we believed was going to come in to state revenues just hasn't been there.
Do you feel we need additional streams of revenue, such as a sales tax?
No.
Okay.
Sales tax is a dirty word in Oregon, and I'm not certain why. I think because it's always been in addition to state income tax. And if we ever looked at that again, if we ever did, it would have to be a complete replacement of the personal income tax.
Okay. I want to talk about an issue that's near and dear to you, and that's education. And what do you see as the most pressing needs for Oregon's educational system in the next decade?
Without a doubt, the most important issue is education funding, K-12. And in 2000, we passed a constitutional amendment here in Oregon that said that the legislature will adequately fund education. Well, Oregon Education Association says we're at 69%. That's their claim. Other people say it's 80%. But everybody agrees we are far from fully funded. And when districts like the Beaverton district, that is within my Senate district, has the task of cutting an additional $40 million out of their budget, it's just almost not doable. So education funding has to be the top priority. But in addition to funding is the issue of graduation rates. The Oregonian reported 3 weeks ago, I think in the Sunday Oregonian, that the Portland Public Schools had increased their graduation rate from 58% to 59%. That means that 40% of the people are not really prepared for the workplace. And from a business standpoint, we need educated workers. And so there's a problem with that. And we know that not everybody is going to go to college. Lots of people need to be in the trades, but they still need to have a high school degree.
Okay. All right. Tell us a little bit about the areas that your district includes, and what specific issues do you think the folks in your district might want to see you accomplish in the legislature?
Well, I think that almost everybody, as I've gone door to door, almost everybody relates to the education funding issue, and yet they don't want to pay more taxes. Beaverton District had a bond measure on the last election, and it failed. They don't want to add to their property taxes, but they do want to see education fully funded. So that's an important issue to the district. You ask about the boundaries of my district.
Right.
The northern boundary, pretty much, and it's a fuzzy line, but pretty much Tualatin Valley Highway south, Beaverton Hillsdale Highway south, with a finger that goes up through Raleigh Hills and Sylvan,
Okay.
and a little bit into Portland there by St. Thomas More, that
Got it.
triangle, and it goes out to 209th. So, you know, I think about Senator Ted Forioli's district. He lives in John Day and has about a third of the state in his district. So I'm very fortunate to have about 3 miles by 6 miles approximately.
Right. Okay. All right. How long have you lived in the district?
I've lived in this district for 16 years,
Okay.
and before that I was in the Tigard district.
Okay. I'd like to hear a little bit more about what role you could play on some of the Senate committees, and where do you see yourself fitting in?
That's a good question. I definitely would like to be on the Education Committee, the Budget Committee. Of course, my businesses are very tied to transportation, so I have a distinct interest in the Transportation Committee. And if I were to serve on a fourth committee, and I'm not sure what all the assignments are, I think judicial. I think there's some areas of law that need to change.
Okay.
And speaking of law, one of the things I think we've missed on, when we pass new bills, I believe the vast majority of them need to have a sunset clause. And that gives us a chance, the legislature, a chance to reevaluate, okay, did this law do what it was supposed to do? And what were the unintended consequences of that law? Because that sometimes is a big surprise.
Okay. You had mentioned transportation issues, and I'd like to know, with these more fuel-efficient cars coming out, we have less gas tax money going into our highway systems. Do you feel that we need some additional revenue sources to keep our highways up to speed?
The quality of our highways and roads are very important because the vast majority of us own and drive cars. Do we know for a fact that gas tax revenue is down? I don't know that for a fact. And so that's the first thing that I would want to know is what are the actual numbers. But one of my concerns is the amount of money that's been bled off for other purposes. I jokingly say trains, trams, and trolleys, but near my home there's a beautiful 10-foot wide bridge that cost $1 million that's for bicycles. I'm not sure that that was a wise use of, I'm a bicycle hobbyist, and I think that if we're going to have a trail, maybe the bicycle people should pay for it. I'll pay my share. But should it be bled off of highway funds? And I think probably not.
Okay. One more quick question.
Yes.
And that is, what are your opinions about the health care, the coordinated care system that was just recently passed at the legislature?
I haven't studied the coordinated care program yet. I know that a lot hinges on what happens with the Supreme Court decision. That's going to have an impact on funds that are coming from the federal government into what you might call, what a lot of people call Medicaid, which the Oregon Health Plan is based on. Whatever we pass, though, once it's passed, instead of changing it right away, we probably need to see how it works. And so the governor had a definite plan, and he's from that industry, and let's see how it works.
Okay. I really appreciate your being here today.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Thanks for talking with us.